You, you taking birth control pills?
I'm not, no.
Are you feeding your lily plant?
No, my plant is thriving already. Don't worry.
I found them in Julia's study.
In Julia's study.
And she's quite private about this mysterious room.
She keeps it so clean and organized. It's like it's difficult.
It's like entering a personal museum.
And Arun is the only one who is allowed to go in there when he brings her cappuccino.
But you went in there.
Yes, you remember them, Mr. Pale Fox? Pale Fox? Do you remember Pale Fox?
You mean Ethan Barr?
So now he has written another book. It's called Young Boy in the Cave. All week she was on the phone with such passion in her voice.
And speaking of it to Arun and her colleagues, as if it is David Copperfield.
Oh, how pitch perfect it is. Oh, genius. Genius.
So when you went into Julia's study, is that what you were looking for? Ethan Barr's manuscript?
It is supposedly about a young boy who gets lost in a cave and who discovers a group of displaced American veterans from Iraq War who are inventing a game using a giant ball made of their shaved hair and shoelaces. And she goes on and on about how the men who are inventing the game are so heartbreaking because they are trying to regain their innocence. And playing this game would somehow reverse all the terrible things they did in war. So apparently they teach the boy how to play the game, and then the boy teaches them how to become boys again. See how pitch perfect it is.
Did you consider asking your daughter-in-law if you could read the book? Did you read it?
I did not look at it. But I can assure you, this is ridiculous.
Yet you still felt compelled to search for it in Julia's study, yeah?
And this is what I found. And this is an absolute proof that Julia is having an affair with Mr. Pale Fox, a.k.a. Ethan Barr.
Don't you think it's at all possible that Julia might be taking these pills because she and your son have chosen to? In order not to get pregnant?
Arun has told me more than once that he wished to have another son. And need I remind you that when I moved in their home, it was clearly stated that my room on the 3rd floor was temporary and it would be eventually transformed into new baby's room and I would move down to the basement. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember you told me that, yeah.
If this is indeed the case, then can somebody please explain me why Julia is using contraceptions?
If Julia intends to have another child with my son, she should be trying to do so.
But clearly, this is not her wish.
This obviously upsets you, this aspect of Julia and Arun's private life.
He's my son.
I understand that, Sunil, but he's also a married man, and the issues of contraception and childbearing, surely they're between him and Julia. Isn't it rightfully their business?
And not mine? I've nothing to do with it?
I'm not sure that they would think so.
No, I'm his father, sir.
I understand.
I'm his father. It's my family, too. She is taking these pills secretly. They were not found in the medicine chest of her bathroom. They were not on her bedside table. They were hidden in a drawer under some paper in her study. Now I can only conclude that she is conducting an affair. When I think of them together, my hand turns into fist.
When you think of Julia and Ethan,
something happens to me and my heart starts to race. Why are you looking at me strangely? And I had this very strange dream. And I was quite disturbed by it.
Would you like to tell me about it?
You know, there was a dark-coated animal lying on the shore of the sea, and I could not decipher whether it's a goat or a dog. And it was injured, perhaps dying, and was having great difficulty breathing. There was a tall cliff behind me, and I had the sense that the animal had fallen a great distance. And I was standing over it with a large stick, and I started to manipulate the body.
Manipulate.
I was poking and prodding it. Even now, I cannot determine whether I was trying to harm or revive her. And before me, the sea was starting to rise. And I had the sense that I was losing time.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Before I realized what had happened, I was at the backyard of my son's house. And
I was digging a hole with my bare hands. And I was digging so desperately and intensely that I could feel my tongue swelling in my mouth. Then I reached to put the animal in the hole. But it was too dark, I could not locate it. And then I realized I had already buried something. I cannot say what it was, but it felt as if it was very, very important to me. And then my son, Arun was suddenly approaching, and he was coming towards me quickly, and his eyes were enormous. I felt that I'd done something terribly wrong. And I woke up. When I woke up, I could still feel the soil under my fingernails.
Do you mind if we discuss the dream a little bit more?
Do you see terrible omens?
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 I simply thought that we could make some associations.
Associations?
Can you tell me a little more about the animal that you saw in the dream? You said that you weren't quite sure whether it was a goat or a dog.
Yes. I only know that it had a dark coat and that it had great difficulty breathing.
You said that the animal was in a state of decline, and you also gave it a gender.
Did I?
Yes. When you were standing over this animal with a stick, you called it a her.
So now you think the animal is Julia?
I don't know. Is that what you think? Did you have the dream the night you found the pills?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. I find this smoking makes me calm. Cigarettes have this effect on me.
Would you mind if we continued to talk about the dream?
I started smoking when I was in university. Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did. You told me the first day that you came to see me.
I'm pleased to see that you remember things what I say to you, Paul. You also remember the woman I mentioned to you, Malini.
So you'd rather talk about Malini?
In my final year, I followed her out of the library. I watched her lit a cigarette. I thought to myself, I must learn to smoke so that I can talk to her.
I suppose there are worse reasons people start to smoke.
One afternoon, we went to watch Satyajit Ray's film. Afterwards, we went to a cafe, then we smoked cigarettes, then we discussed the theme of the movie, and I thought I was being so sophisticated.
And Malini smoked with such ease.
And you must know one thing, in those days it was extremely rare for a woman to smoke outside. And the look on her face when she drew the smoke into her lungs, it was like as if she knew some great secret. And I smoked like my eyelashes were on fire. I could watch her smoke all day, all day.
Last week you mentioned that the relationship between you and Malini had to end.
Is this true? What is the American phrase? All good things must end badly.
All good things must come to an end. But it's kind of interesting the way you phrase it. Did things end badly?
I was Brahmin. She was not. I was from a different caste.
So she was from a lower caste than yours.
The caste system was established to keep the societal order. I was an only child, only son of my family, and I knew they were not going to approve.
And did you know she was from another caste when you met her?
Of course. But it made no difference. I could not resist her. I wanted to spend each and every moment of my life with her. We studied together, we took walks together, we went to cinema. And sometimes we did nothing. But that was okay too.
Mm-hmm. So were you intimate? Sunil?
I should not have been.
Why not?
Perhaps we should continue discussing my dream.
Well, we can, but I would like you to tell me what happened with Malini first.
She ended our relationship.
She did. And how did she end the relationship?
I agreed to meet her on the steps of the library. So I thought she was going to surprise me with a gift or a note or... But she told me she could no longer see me. I pleaded with her to reconsider, but we had a terrible argument and she walked away, wearing my coat. I felt like someone was pulling a spool of hot thread through my heart. And that was the last time I ever saw her.
But Sunil, I have to point out that this contradicts what you told me during the last session. Last week when you were talking about Malini, you said that you had made a great sacrifice. And you said that you hadn't got any patience for people who put their desires before their principles. But now it seems that the choice was not yours to make. Did you ever make any attempt to contact her again after she walked away?
Why are you so interested in Malini? Why does she fascinate you? Leave her. Let her go.
Because when you talk about her, I see a side of you that I haven't seen before.
No, it's not really there, Paul. It's the side of me, as you say. You're talking to a ghost.
I don't think that's true. I think the part of you that loved Malini is deeply hidden. Why do you say a ghost? Sunil?
There's a bridge in Calcutta. It's called Howrah Bridge. It spans the Hooghly River, which links Howrah city and Calcutta. My family was from the other side. She threw herself from the bridge and drowned. When they found her body at the bottom of the river, she was still wearing the same jacket when she left. I don't know why. Yeah, I know. There were heavy stones in her pockets, in the pockets of the jacket.